Today I'm going to be doing an overview for you of the Michaels Recollections Teacher Planner. So I wanted to go ahead and start by showing you the front cover. I have a few friends who are really into the Erin Condren Teacher Planner, both a classroom teacher and a resource teacher that are friends of mine, but I was not ready to pull the trigger quite yet on something so expensive. So I wanted to try a less expensive alternative in case this does not work out for me, because I have paper planned for my personal life in the past, definitely in college for sure, but I have never paper planned weekly for my students. I've been doing this for 6 years, and I got intrigued when I saw how much my coworkers were interested in their Erin Condren. So like I said, that's a higher price point, and I wanted to give something different a try before I committed to something so expensive. I am not a classroom teacher. I am a school-based speech-language pathologist. I work with grades pre-K through 5th. So I do have a lot of students, a lot of planning, and a lot of things to keep track of. But since I am not specifically a classroom teacher, some of the things that we're going to talk about today may not be applicable, so I could either pull those pages out, cover up the labels or the headers to make it make more sense for my job, or I could paste, tape, or otherwise stick something in there that I would need to reference often rather than the teacher pages. So let's go ahead and get started. The inside front cover has a pretty detail. It's pretty plain. You could use a wet erase marker, but I don't see myself doing that at this point. We'll see. It's a little bit shadowy. I did see that at the store, but I was too stubborn to put it back because I was afraid if I didn't buy it, I wouldn't see it again, and there was only one. So I think I'm going to try to use a magic eraser and see if I can get some of that shadowing off. The very first page just says this planner belongs to. You could put your information. You might not want to, depending on your preference. So the very next page that we're going to go into is passwords and usernames. So this could be something that I may want to use. I might not, because I also keep track of this online, and our passwords do change quite often, so that could be annoying to have to keep changing that, but I'll see how it goes. This comes to one of the pages I won't be able to use, the substitute information page. I don't have a substitute in my county when we are absent. Unless it's a long-term absence like a maternity leave, we don't have substitutes. So there would simply be no therapy that day. This is a page that I could cover. Then we go over to classroom volunteers and classroom events. I don't really have any volunteers except for my mom sometimes. Thanks, Mom. So this could be another page that I could really take out this whole page and rip it out, or I could cover it with something that's more useful to my job. Then we go over to birthdays. I like how it gives you a lot of space. I have a lot of students that I could track birthdays as well as coworkers. Then we go into student contact information. Certain students, I do have their parent cell phone number, and they have my number, and that's how we stay in touch, is via text. We also send a lot of things home in the mail, but I have access to their addresses on my online system, so I don't necessarily know that these would be pages that would be applicable. Could be something to tear out or something to cover with more useful information. The next tab, or the first tab I should say, they're laminated tabs, is absent log. Again, this is something that might not be applicable to you if you are a school-based SLP like me. All my attendance and my Medicaid and my data is all taken online, so this isn't something that I would utilize necessarily. I could cover this up and just make this into some other page, or I could cover it with something else. The next tab is graphs and notes. So it just has some graph paper, and then it goes into plain line paper. It does have a banner at the top where you could label it if you want to. Then we go into our yearly spread. So you can see where you can definitely fit a lot of details. I work with pre-K through 5th grade, like I said, so I could have one row for each, and then I could write out my big concept or big theme that I want to target for that specific month. So you can see the whole year at a glance, which is nice. Then it has a blank page with lines, and then it goes into your monthly. It starts with July. You have your objectives, things to remember, to do, a quote, and important days if you want to keep track of. In my school, we have a lot of deadlines, timelines, due dates, things to keep track of, so that would be nice to be able to reference back to. Then it goes into your monthly spread. It's very clean, very streamlined. There's not a lot of things on this page, which some people will like and some people will not like. You do have a little bit of a space over here to record notes or lists or other information. It's not dated, so you would have to go in and put the dates in the boxes. And it goes from Sunday to Saturday, with the weekends being shaded out a little bit darker. We go through each month. It's the same format, it's just a different color scheme, so I'm going to flip through for you. I personally like to plan seasonally with my therapy, so I don't mind the colors. Some people might not like that, but to me it's no big deal. We'll just continue on like this in the exact same format. February being pink, of course. March being green. You can kind of see where they're going with this, but I don't mind it. It goes all the way in through June, which is purple. Then it goes to your next tab, which is called lesson plans. In my district, we don't have to do formal lesson plans at this point that we have to turn in, but hey, things are changing every year, so you never know. I do large, I guess you could say long-term planning on a Google Doc where I keep track of monthly themes that I like to hit with each grade. However, I'm interested in trying to do more weekly planning to include more details and keep track of things more accurately. So, like you can see up here, it goes from Monday to Friday. Every one is a different color, which is nice, very appealing, keeps you interested. You've got some blank spaces over here where it says subject or period. I would put the grade level. So I would put kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, or fifth grade. I could group kindergarten and first together depending on how I decide to address those skills. So I might have room for preschool, but I do have a yearly and monthly calendar that I've already loosely created on a Google Doc, which I can share in a different video. So right now I would just do the kindergarten through fifth grade. So for example, if kindergarten, if their group, like this year, their groups with me were on Monday and Wednesday. So these two spaces I would write in if this was kindergarten, and these would be blank because there would be no kindergarten group on those days. So it might end up looking a little bit strange at first and take some getting used to. So from there to there, this whole section is all lesson plans. It's the same exact page repeated over and over again. Okay, double-sided. And then it ends with a plain note page with lines. Then it goes into checklists. I'm not sure exactly yet what I would do with these pages. It could be things that you're getting back from the students, things that you have to do for each student. It could be their annual review, their meeting notices being sent out. There's definitely some options. Or these pages could be ripped out. They could be covered. There's a lot of different things you could do depending on your specific needs. So it goes on like that for a few pages. I'm going to just check to make sure I'm still in frame. Still looks good. It goes on like that for a few pages. Not too many. And then you come into some pre-printed stickers. Again, not all of these are going to be applicable to me because I'm not a classroom teacher. For example, I don't take students to the computer lab or to the library myself personally, but I do have an interest in keeping track of holidays and meetings, things like that. We don't have assemblies, and I no longer have to do duty, but I have in the past, and some SLPs do depending on the district requirements, so those could be useful to you. These are all blank. I was thinking of using these for things like IEP meetings, teacher meetings, other types of meetings that are not related to IEPs, because we always have a lot of meetings every year. When I need to send things out, when I need to do certain things, when I need to complete an evaluation, when I'm having a special visitor, like I'm getting an observation from my supervisor, or I'm having another therapist come and visit me, that would be great to keep track of. I'm going to turn you back this way. There's a few more pages of stickers. These are, some are pre-printed and some are not. Don't forget, important, reminder, important, you got this, last day, picture day, field trip, field day, first day. It's always good to mark those things, because if you are a school SLP like me, then you know that there are constantly things that are impeding our schedule. Things like the vision van and the hearing check, weight check, height check, eyes, all kinds of stuff that they're checking constantly. There's always something going on. They're going to the computer